Today we're going on a journey through time to explore the fascinating history of playing cards. These little rectangles of paper have provided entertainment and amusement for centuries, and their origins are shrouded in a bit of mystery. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore the different theories about where and when playing cards first emerged, and how they eventually made their way around the world. Did you know that playing cards weren't just for fun and games in the past? In New France, which is modern-day Canada, there was a shortage of coins in the 17th and 18th centuries. To keep the economy going, the government there decided to get creative. They issued playing cards with denominations printed on them to act as a substitute for coins. This was supposed to be a temporary solution, but the card money actually circulated for many years. Playing cards were also used this way in the Dutch Guiana and throughout parts of the French Louisiana colonies during the 18th century. The exact origins of playing cards are murky, but evidence points to their use in China during the Tang dynasty. Early cards may have served various purposes such as money or lot casting, but most likely the predominant use would have been for gaming. Most experts believe playing cards first hailed from somewhere in East Asia. The earliest potential reference to playing cards comes from China during the Tang dynasty. The earliest known reference to playing cards in China dates to 868 AD. Here we see a woodcut depicting people playing a game with cards. It's important to note that these cards might have been quite different from the decks we know today. Some scholars believe they were used for a trick-taking game similar to Mahjong. Fast forward a few centuries, and playing cards start popping up in the Middle East. By the 14th century, the Mamluk dynasty in Egypt was using a unique deck with 4 distinct suits: cups, coins, swords, and interestingly enough, polo sticks. It's widely believed that these cards eventually made their way to Europe through trade routes, likely with Italian merchants who encountered them during their travels. The Egyptian Mamluk dynasty, 1250 to 1517, is notable for its sophisticated playing cards, which consisted of 52 cards divided into 4 suits: cups, coins, swords, and polo sticks. Each suit had 10 numbered cards and 3 court cards: king, viceroy, and second viceroy. These cards featured intricate geometric designs and calligraphy, avoiding human figures due to Islamic artistic conventions. The gameplay likely involved trick-taking and point accumulation, where players aimed to win tricks or hold high-ranking cards as they were introduced to Europe through trade routes, particularly by Italian merchants. The structure and suits of Mamluk cards laid the groundwork for the evolution of various European decks, making them a crucial link in the history of card games. Playing cards arrived in Europe around the 1370s, most likely in Italy or Spain. The earliest European decks were hand-painted and very expensive, making them a luxury item for the wealthy. As playing cards spread across Europe, the number and ranks of cards varied widely to suit local preferences and game rules. Early decks could range from 32 to 52 cards, and some Italian and Spanish decks excluded certain ranks like the tens. Over time, the French 52-card deck structure became widely accepted due to its balance and versatility, facilitating the development of numerous card games and becoming the international standard. While the basic structure of 4 suits with numbered cards and face cards became the standard, there were some interesting variations in suit designs across Europe. For instance, Spanish decks traditionally used swords, cups, coins, and batons. Meanwhile, German decks featured a more whimsical approach, with hearts, bells, acorns, and leaves. These variations highlight the regional adaptations that playing cards underwent during their spread across Europe. Some people still do play with these national and regional decks, and European tourists can purchase such decks. These decks can now be purchased online. The arrival of the printing press in the 15th century was a game changer for playing cards, pun intended. This new technology allowed for the use of stencils to create uniform designs on cards. This mass production method dramatically reduced the cost of cards, making them accessible to a much wider audience. As a result, card games exploded in popularity across Europe. The printing press in the 15th century revolutionized card production. Stencils were used to create uniform designs on cards, making them cheaper to produce and more widely available, which led to a surge in the popularity of playing cards across Europe. The French playing card deck featured coeurs, French for hearts, carreaux, French for tiles, trèfles, French for clovers, piques, French for pikes. The French deck was introduced to England in the late 15th century. The English adapted these suits into hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. This modified deck spread to English North America with colonists, becoming integral to American culture through games like poker and bridge. The expansion of the British Empire facilitated the global dissemination of the English deck. In the 19th and 20th centuries, the widespread popularity of English card games and cultural influence cemented this deck as the worldwide standard, now universally recognized and foundational to many global card games. Here is the history of various card games. Trick-taking games are a vast and historic family, defined by players competing to win rounds or tricks with their cards. The core mechanic involves following suit if possible, meaning playing a card of the same suit as the one led. The highest card of the led suit, or a trump card if trumps are designated for the round, wins the trick. Trick-taking games are a vast and historic family, defined by players competing to win rounds or tricks with their cards. The core mechanic involves following suit if possible, meaning playing a card of the same suit as the one led. The highest card of the led suit, or a trump card, if trumps are designated for the round, wins the trick. The earliest recognized date for a description of a trick-taking game is 1426. This comes from evidence surrounding the game Karnuffel, which originated in Germany. Shedding games are a category of card games where the objective is to discard all your cards first. The core mechanic usually involves playing a card matching a specific rank or suit from the previous card played. If unable to match, a player might have to draw additional cards as a penalty. These games boast a long history, with early examples like Cuckoo, documented in 16th century Italy. Over time, shedding games evolved, incorporating variations in playable card combinations, special cards with unique abilities like wild cards, and discard piles that affect gameplay. Meld-making games are a captivating category where players strive to create specific combinations of cards called melds. These melds can be sets, groups of cards with the same rank but different suits, or runs, consecutive cards of the same suit. The core mechanic involves collecting and strategically placing cards to form these scoring melds. Meld-making games boast a rich history dating back centuries. One of the earliest documented examples is piquet, a French game from the 16th century. Faro-type games originated in 17th century Italy, quickly becoming popular due to their fast-paced gameplay and appeal to both nobility and commoners. Their popularity spread across Europe, especially in France and England during the 18th and 19th centuries, with a notable variant called Monte Bank. However, the games faced criticism for their addictive nature and susceptibility to cheating, leading to a decline in popularity by the late 19th century, as other games like blackjack rose in prominence. Today, Faro-type games are rarely played and serve primarily as historical footnotes in the evolution of money gaming. Stacking games such as poker and blackjack have rich histories rooted in the evolution of card games and gambling traditions. Poker's origins are somewhat debated, but it is widely believed to have evolved from several earlier games. The Persian game As-Nas, which used a 25-card deck with 5 suits, is one potential precursor. Another is the French game Poké, a bluffing and betting game brought to North America by French settlers. In the early 19th century, poker began to take shape in the United States, particularly along the Mississippi River. The game continued to evolve throughout the 19th century, introducing the 52-card deck. Simple comparison games likely involved very basic mechanics, possibly using just a single card or a small number of cards dealt face-up for players to compare value. This classic game of war, where players reveal one card each and the highest card wins, is believed to be one of the oldest comparison games. Its exact origin is unclear, but its simplicity suggests an early emergence. Historical records suggest the existence of comparison games in China during the period of the Ming Dynasty, sometime between the 14th through 17th centuries. Evidence suggests a rise in the popularity of comparison games in Europe, like Karnaffel in Germany, and Macao in France during the centuries of the 16th through the 18th centuries might have involved elements of comparing card values. The decks that arrived in Europe weren't just numbered cards. They also included special face cards representing royalty and nobility. The specific identities of these figures varied by region and time period. Typically, there was a king, queen, and knight, later replaced by jack, for each suit. Some theories suggest these cards were based on specific historical figures like Charlemagne or Julius Caesar. Others believe they were more generic representations of the social hierarchy, with the king being the most powerful and the jack the lowest-ranking member of the court. The familiar wild card, the Joker, is a newcomer compared to the rest of the deck. It wasn't until the mid-1800s in the United States that this card appeared. Originally used in a game called Euchre as the ultimate trump card, the Joker's purpose and design have changed throughout history. Today it's most commonly used as a wild card, allowing players to substitute it for any other card in their hand. This element of surprise and flexibility adds another layer of strategy to many card games. The Ace of Spades' fancy design has a surprising origin taxes. In 1711, Queen Anne of England decided playing cards needed a tax. To show the tax was paid, a stamp was initially hand-applied directly on the cards, often placed on the Ace of Spades because it was the easiest card to find. Over time, the responsibility for marking the cards shifted to the manufacturers themselves. This led to the creation of the ornately designed Ace of Spades we know today, incorporating the tax stamp design directly into the card. The Joker may be the most famous wild card, but it's not the only one. Twos, particularly the two of clubs or spades, have held a special wild card status in some games and regions. The term douche comes from the old French word for two, and was once used to refer to the two card. In certain European trick-taking games and some historical variations of poker, these deuces could be played as any other card, adding an element of surprise and strategy. This use of wild twos, also known as deuces wild, is less common today, but is still seen in poker variations like deuce to seven triple draw. So, next time you hold a deuce, remember its potential for wild action. The late 20th century saw the rise of cardistry, a unique art form that utilizes playing cards to create visually captivating displays. Unlike card magic, which revolves around creating illusions and fooling the audience, cardistry focuses on the aesthetics of manipulating cards. Cardists perform a variety of flourishes, intricate maneuvers, cuts, and sequences with decks of cards, resulting in mesmerizing patterns and movements. The advent of social media platforms like YouTube has provided a stage for cardists to share their artistry with a global audience, inspiring a new generation of enthusiasts to explore this dynamic art form. Cardistry trainers, the innovative tools for cardists, are essentially solid blocks designed to mimic the size and feel of a deck of playing cards. They were created to facilitate the practice of card flourishes without the hassle of cards falling or getting damaged. The concept of cardistry trainers is relatively recent, with various brands like the Card Painter and Vanishing Ink offering high-quality resin or wood trainers. These trainers come in sets of 5 pieces to 7, and their popularity has surged among cardists globally. Brands like Pure Cardistry, Fiberboards, and NOC have developed their versions, each with unique features like waterproofing, durability, and different colors or designs. Cardistry trainers have become an essential tool for both amateur and professional cardists, allowing for the development of skills in a variety of environments without the worry of damaging precious decks. While it's challenging to pinpoint the exact number of cardists using them today, the community is vast and growing, with many enthusiasts incorporating trainers into their daily practice. No exploration of card manipulation would be complete without mentioning The Expert at the Card Table, a book published in 1902 that has attained legendary status. Written by the enigmatic S.W. Erdnase, whose true identity remains a mystery, this book is considered one of the most influential works ever written on card sleights and manipulation. The expert at the card table offers comprehensive explanations and detailed illustrations of various techniques, encompassing everything from card flourishes to methods employed by card sharps. While some of the content addresses deception, the book's primary focus lies on the art of card manipulation itself. Erdnasi's clear and concise writing, coupled with the detailed illustrations, has ensured the expert at the card table a place of enduring importance. It continues to inspire generations of magicians, card flourishes, cardists, and card enthusiasts alike. The captivating world of card manipulation, encompassing both card magic and cardistry, continues to enthrall audiences today. From grand illusions performed on vast stages to the intricate sleights of hand showcased on social media platforms, card manipulation offers a multifaceted art form. The element of surprise inherent in magic and the sheer beauty of cardistry's visual flourishes guarantee their enduring appeal. As new generations discover the artistry of card manipulation, the legacy of these skills flourishes, promising a future filled with wonder and innovative techniques that will continue to amaze audiences for years to come.